Dr. Kalin Drro stared into the holographic projection. A single drop of blood, magnified 40,000 times. Inside, something was moving, hunting. The pathogen cells were there, multiplying, spreading as expected. But surrounding them, engulfing them, consuming them, moving with purpose were white blood cells. Not engineered, not enhanced. Baseline human immunity running in real time. And it was doing something her team had spent 200 years trying to build. The sample label read, Species 471, routine draw. Her fingers had gone completely clear. That morning, Nell D. had walked into the immunology lab with the sun still low across the station's viewport. 2 days prior, the human had mentioned a kitchen cut during her routine medical screening. A small bandage wrapped around her index finger, trivial enough to barely warrant documentation. It's already healing, Nell had said, briefly unwrapping it to show the closed wound. Faster than I expected. Kalin had noted the observation. Epidermal repair efficiency. Unusual. Then she'd moved on. Humans were resilient. Interesting but not alarming. The blood draw was routine. 5 milliliters into the sample chamber. Labeled and fixed, sealed beneath the holographic scanner array. Kalin ran the standard pathogen exposure test, introducing a common galactic microbe, one that had infected species across the entire catalog. She set the timer. Cell death typically followed within minutes. 90 seconds in, the microbe population hadn't grown. It was shrinking. Kalin leaned closer, silver eyes narrowing. The human white blood cells were actively identifying the pathogens, surrounding them in organized clusters, engulfing them with methodical precision. Phagocytosis. The process was familiar, but the speed, the coordination without chemical signaling, the efficiency, unprecedented. She rechecked the sample markers. Baseline. No augmentation flags. No enhancement protocols listed. Without thinking, she introduced a second pathogen strain, a destroyer resistant to 14 known galactic treatments. A trial-grade organism that had taken the very enhancement project 3 years to combat with synthetic antibodies. The timer started again. Her hands were losing pigment at the wrists. The magnified display shifted as she manipulated the holographic angles, zooming deeper into the blood's architecture. She could see the lymphocytes. The human immune cells were learning, actively producing antibodies that hadn't existed 8 minutes ago. New proteins shaped specifically to bind this threat. The adaptive immune system didn't just react. It innovated. 9 minutes. Both pathogen strains eliminated. Kalin pulled up the very Immune Enhancement Project database. 2 centuries of research. 11 trillion credits across 4 prototype iterations, each one falling short of the singular goal. Adaptive antibody generation within sub-10-minute cycles. Self-repairing biological defenses that could identify and neutralize previously unknown threats without external intervention. Nell's blood had done it while she sat in a medical chair talking about her lunch. Kalin's hands had gone completely white, veins invisible, all pigment drained into the deepest layers of her skin. She reached for the filing interface to document what she was seeing, but her fingers trembled. Nell's face appeared on the display feed. Curious. Oh, is that my blood? It looks busy. Is that normal? Kalin's mouth was dry. She turned toward the human, her transparent hands still trembling against the console. Normal. The word hung in the sterile air like a foreign language. Normal blood didn't hunt like this. Normal blood didn't learn. Normal blood didn't make a mockery of 200 years of technological advancement. Yes, Kalin heard herself say. Quite normal. The lie tasted like copper. Nell smiled, that casual, unbothered expression humans wore when oblivious to their own significance. She glanced back at the magnified display one more time, watching her cells devour the pathogens with mechanical elegance. Well, that's good. It means my immune system's doing its job. She reached up and peeled away the old bandage from her index finger. The cut was gone, completely healed. Not even a scar. Just smooth, unmarked skin, as if the injury had never existed. She dropped the bandage into the disposal bin and didn't look back. Kalin stood motionless as the human left the lab, the door hissing shut behind her. The holographic display still floated in the air, still magnified, still showing the aftermath of the pathogen assault. Empty now, consumed, neutralized. The human blood had written an entire immune protocol in under 9 minutes, and moved on with her life as if nothing had changed. Everything had changed. Her hands remained transparent, not pale white from shock, but a deeper clarity, as if something inside her had become permeable. Kalin moved to the filing terminal, fingers uncertain against the input surface. The words came slowly, each one a classification, a boundary, a warning. Species 471 baseline immune response exceeds very enhancement project stage 3 targets by a factor of 6.2. Adaptive antibody generation, sub 10-minute cycle. Phagocytic efficiency, 99.7%. Self-repair capability accelerated beyond known parameters. She paused. The cursor blinked. Reclassify. Terran biology represents a baseline self-repairing biological weapons platform. Immune system operates with sophistication matching military-grade enhancement protocols. Subject unaware. Blood sample was under active pathogen assault. Her hands still were not regaining color. The silver of her eyes seemed darker now. Vertical pupils dilated as if standing in complete darkness instead of the lab's harsh white light. One final line. The one that would trigger automatic review protocols. Note: subject expressed no concern regarding immune functionality, demonstrated no awareness of biological superiority, expressed concern about lunch. She submitted the file. The system acknowledged receipt. Somewhere in the upper layers of the research vessel's command structure, the classification would propagate, flagged urgent, requiring immediate containment review. Nel D. Medical assistant would be reclassified. Quarantine protocols would begin. Her blood would be studied, dissected, reverse-engineered, because that was what the galaxy did with weapons. It didn't understand. Kalin's eyes drifted to the disposal bin where Nell had dropped the bandage. Useless now. A scrap of synthetic polymer no longer needed. The wound it had protected was already gone. The human body didn't just heal. It healed and forgot, moved on, lived as if survival were as simple as breathing. Her hands remained transparent as she sat in the sterile whiteness of the lab, surrounded by the hum of scanners and the soft glow of dormant displays, thinking about a woman who had no idea that her blood was more dangerous than any weapon in the Verdi arsenal. And the most terrible part? She would never need to know.